is the price there for Canny Essent. It's our favourite over Shavuma, and Orient Line just got lucky, the other runner, at a single figure price. What are you doing in leg one?
Just the one, Canny Essent. He's got some really impressive first up form. In fact, the only time he's been beaten first up from a spell was when he was beaten by Chetwood. He's in a new stable now, formerly trained in Sydney, where he showed some good form. Even in stakes level, he's with Team Hayes and Dabenig now. His jump out was just about as good as you're likely to see, indicating he's come back well. He handles all conditions. He likes it soft. He's going to take a power beating.
So we're going Canny Essent, the favourite, one out, $1.60 in leg one. Let's turn our attention now to leg number two. We've also got a short prize favourite here, Canalasso. It's been supported since we did the preview. It was $2.25 when we did that. Now $2.05. Perfect Command $4.40. Artie's Party $4.60. Then we're out to $6. Well, we're one out in leg one with the favourite. What about the second leg?
Yeah, I think we can go a bit wider here. Canalasso's hard to beat, but, there's chinks. First up from a spell, he is here today and probably might be better with the run under his belt. Artie's Party, I think we just got to forgive the last start, and the previous effort was really good. EJT probably got the tongue over the bit first up, so put the pen through that one, and the maiden win last prep was good enough to win this, and Perfect Command's coming off a maiden win, so I think there's 4 winning chances in the second leg.
All right, so this is one that we're chasing a bit of value if we can get Canalasso beaten there. Let's turn our attention now to the third leg of the quaddie race, number 7 of the day. 4:45 is the time for this race, and Stellarised is the top pick at $3, $3.20 for Jim's special. So those two battling it out for favouritism. Chances don't end there, though. Not a big field, but you could mount a case for most runners.
Probably can. I think they're the two main winning hopes on recent form, Stellarised and Jim's special. So we'll throw those two in, and Darlux might be the value runner that I want to throw in as well. So just the 3 for me in the third leg.
Where'd Unikaja come from then?
It's just found its way into the quaddie, but you can throw it in. It's the next best, so it can go in as well without too much worry.
Well, that's like when you're marking out a quaddie ticket and you accidentally mark a horse's name, you should just leave it in, because maybe that's the punting gods above telling you that that horse is meant to be.
Well, it certainly can on its best form.
Unikaja found its way into Ben's quaddie. 1x4x4. Let's see what he's going to do in the last. This is the toughest race of the day. We'll definitely be chasing value here, because it looks like whoever wins is going to provide some value. $5 the favourite, about Sneferu. Any on this page that we don't have?
The only ones we don't have on that page is Brigadier. So everything else goes in. Sneferu in good form. Priya Eclipse can be on the speed. Hawkland Beach, best value of the day. Smooth Consul, last start winner. We're stable. God forbid will be up on the speed. Sardia, best form can win. And they keep going on. I liked Like and Lad. Hawkland Beach, Lola Dioro is a good roughie for mine. So really loading up that last leg.
Nearly needed 2 lines there for your numbers. This is unprecedented. 10 horses in the last leg of the quaddie, but we're starting skinny and reasonably wide in the middle there, because we do have a couple of shorties there. There, Ben's quaddie numbers. Have a look at that. $160 for 100%. If you want to play, best of luck.
Thanks. As
we head off to a break now, and we'll come back on the other side and have a look at them in the mounting yard ahead of the first leg of the quad.
International Animal Health is a market innovator and manufacturer of quality animal health products, offering a range of solutions for large animals and the intensive industries. Partnering with our clients, we have a shared goal to improve the overall growth, health and performance of your animals. Our pioneering product research, local manufacturing and distribution place us at the forefront of Australian companies to support the livestock industries, both nationally and increasingly to overseas export markets.
Well, Bowman's got plenty to give. Wick's got the dream run and shot to the lead. Blackheart Bar has a race in his hand figures. Palantino joins him. He's too good. Global Glamour gives Gay 1,000 guineas. Blackheart Bar claimed the lead. Races away and scored by 2.5 Eorsi.
Capitalist, the Magic Millions winners, drawn clear in the slipper.
Peter Jackson. Welcome back to Racing.com. Just about due for the first leg of the quaddie at Ballarat. Race number 5 looks like this. Canny Essent dominant. 165 to 160. Hasn't moved from there since, and really strong Canny Essent in race number 5. Shavoom has been a drifter. Went up 380. Has been a steady drifter ever since. $5 the price there. Orient Line $8.50. Just Got Lucky drifts to $9.50. Good money for Big Buddy. $23 into $16 the last few minutes. So a good little push there at a price for the 6 Big Buddy. The card players is easy to $20 and some cash as well for Soul Fire gets into $21. But Canny Essent 160 and extremely dominant in the market for the next at Ballarat, and of course at both Ballarat and at Moe today. For all your fixed odds win bets, you'll get double your rewards points. So that is for all the members of the Crown Bet Rewards program.
This Racing.com mounting yard is proudly brought to you by Magic Millions.
Gearing up for the first leg of the quaddie here at Ballarat. Not a massive field to go around in leg number 1. Only 7 players, and the market is dominated by Canny Essent. Opened $1.60 in the official prices, and it hasn't budged from that. We're only 8 minutes out. Most of the others have been on the drift. $4.80 to $5 for Shavoom, $7.50 to $8.50 for Orient Line. As we turn our attention to the mounting yard and kick off the preview with our favourite, Canny Essent.
And he looks really hard to beat here, Brad. He's first up, having had 25 weeks off, formerly trained by Gabrielle Engelbrecht in Sydney, now with the Hayes and Dabennig yard. Only time he's been beaten first up previously was by Chetwood, and aside from his last start before a spell, if we ignore that run, his only other defeats have been in stakes races. Couldn't have done much more in his recent jump out, winning that at Flemington. He was really impressive. Fastest time of the morning. Was scratched from Moonee Valley on Friday in favour of this. He handles all track conditions. He looks really hard to beat. Probably the most likely best winning chance of the day. It's just a question of whether you want to take $1.60.
Compelling case, and that's why he dominates the market. Number 2 is Orient Line, $7.50 out to $8.50.
First up after 13 weeks off this horse. He's always shown talent and has run a number of good races first up from a spell, including at Sandown last prep. The recent jump out beating talented 3-year-old Revolving Door was pretty impressive, even if the time was only average, and that indicates to me he might be ready to run a big race first up. So it's not going to surprise me at all if he's in the finish.
$5 for Shavoom. This is our second favourite. Brendan McCarthy trains, and Mitch Aiken rides. He's taking off 2 kilos, so it'll carry 57.5.
He was too good for them in a weaker race 2 starts ago, beating a subsequent winner in I Only Think of You. Then wasn't bad at Moonee Valley last start, where he did have to do a fair bit of work early. He's got a tactical advantage over the likes of Canny Essent and Orient Line, in that he's going to almost certainly be ahead of them in the run, so that might help his chances.
Just Got Lucky is number 4, 9 out to 10, then spec'd it back into $9.50 for Daniel Bowman and Liam Ridd.
Just forget the run at Moonee Valley last start, where he had no hope given the way the race panned out. Gets the blinkers back on today, and if he begins well, he can probably go forward as he did at Horsham when he won 4 starts ago. His best form from his first preparation would probably measure up in this. The query for mine, though, is that he hasn't been able to reproduce that best form this time in.
Now we get to the horses at double figure odds, starting with the 5, which is the card players. It's been $19 out to $20.
Yeah, it was too good 2 starts ago when he had the pattern to suit, then was comfortably held in a stronger race last time. This is arguably just as strong, and I thought there were better chances in the race.
Big Buddy, the 6, 17 into 15, now back out to 16 for Andrew Sorden. Melissa Julius rides.
Yeah, he's been beaten in easier races than this of late, and on his recent form, I'd probably prefer him in something easier. He can roll along on the speed, though.
Soul Fire, 19 out to 20, number 7.
Wasn't bad at Geelong last time, considering he wasn't in the best part of the track, but his 2 wins have been in easier races at Mount Gambier and Murray Bridge, and he's another I'd probably prefer in something a bit easier than this.
All right, but it's all about Canny Essent. You've got it 1 out in the quad. Talk us through how you might suggest people play the exotics.
Well, I think he's the horse that'll win the race. It's just a question of whether you're comfortable taking the price that he is. He's $1.60 at the moment. It's probably about the right price for mine. I think he's... probably should be even shorter than that for mine. $1.50, probably about the right price. I think he'll... he's going to win this race. Most of the times they run it, and it's probably only bad luck that's going to beat him here. His jump out was outstanding. Good. The time was great. Looks to have come back well, and his form's fresh. First up from a spell and on soft tracks is really good. I think he'll be winning. Shavuma might be on the speed and will take a bit of getting past. Orient Line jumped out well and Just Got Lucky next best.
Ben's numbers on race number 5 as we check in with the other Ben Damon, who's going to give us a market update.
Yeah, well, Ben will be very impressed by the 165 that's now available. He said 160 was a bit generous, and he's getting 5 cents better at the moment for Canny Essent, but still really solid. As you can imagine, a 165 favourite with Crown Bet. Shavuma goes $5 to $5.50. Orient Line has been steady enough around the $8 mark. Just Got Lucky has eased to $9.50, and some money, as I mentioned before, for Big Buddy went $23 into $16, just goes back out to $17 now. Soulfire has supporters as well at $20, but the 165's gone. Canny Essent, 160 with Crown Bet.
All the rage Canny Essent, $1.65 in the official price is 160 with Crown Bet. Plenty hinging on it. Trained by David and Ben Hayes and Tom Dabenig. Representing the team today is Bruno Rouge Soray, who's now with Ben.
Bruno, I thought this horse jumped out really nicely. What are the stable expectations on debut today?
Yeah, Benny's done everything right at home. Back to the races today after a break, and look, his wet form is phenomenal. You couldn't really go wrong with his wet form, and on paper he's got a class edge above these.
Fitness-wise, how is he coming into the first up run?
Yeah, the boys have been very happy with him coming here today. So look, Mark will just give him a nice ride, and we've left the door open for him to his instructions. So Mark knows him, and we've just left it up to Mark. But I think he'd be very competitive.
Coming here today, you had a fairly strong team. Was he your best chance?
Yes, on form, you would have to definitely say yes, he was. Rampage also had some wet form in the race just previously, but things went a bit astray there. So, but yeah, on form, you'd say he was our best chance for the day.
What was the wash up there with Rampage?
Yeah, he was probably a shade disappointing that he finished, 4.5 lengths from the winner. But yeah, just didn't quite work out. Probably should have just let him flow a little bit more, and he could have probably sat right outside the leader or be the leader. But it's a learning curve for all of us, so we've learned a bit on him today, and we'll reset and go again.
Good luck here.
Thanks, mate.
Bruno Rouge Soray representing the Lindsay Park team, who have the favourite here in the first leg of the quad. It is Canny Essent, who has been well backed at a short price, 160 out to 165, now back into $1.60. So good support here for this galloper, who will no doubt be the anchor in many quaddies. That's the way Ben Ascari's playing it. Shavuma's been easy, $4.80 out to $6, $7.50 to $8.50 for Orient Line, and $9 to $10 for Just Got Lucky. So not a whole lot of interest in terms of any that have been backed to topple this short-priced favourite. And it was good to get a word there. Read the wash-up from the beaten favourite in the previous as well, Ben, in the form of Rampage. On face value, quite disappointing, but there were a couple of factors you can potentially put it down to, although he was beaten a long way.
Yeah, that was the thing for me. It looked he just wasn't comfortable being restrained in the early stages, and Bruno sort of echoing those sentiments that he's a horse that probably is going to be better when he's allowed to roll along near the lead and perhaps lead the race outright. And I think we can be forgiving of that run here today.
That's Rampage, but hopefully we don't have another tale of woe with a Lindsay Park favourite here in race 5. Canny Essent's our favourite. It's $1.60 now for the first leg of the quaddie. Runners milling behind the starting stall. They'll be moving in very shortly. So let's head up and check in with Adam Crittenden.
OK, Brad, yeah, just awaiting Just Got Lucky, who's got the blinkers back on today to arrive up at the start. But Canny Essent, a deserving favourite here. A couple of times has touched $1.65, but has immediately firmed back into $1.60. So we're just awaiting Just Got Lucky to go around behind the start, and once he does, the starter will begin to call them in. This is the Chris Bye plate. Chris, along with some of his friends and family, are here on track today and enjoying the experience of racing here at Ballarat. He's recently celebrated his 60th Chris Bye, and he's a very well-known figure in the Victorian Amateur Football Association, having played for both Terry and Ivanhoe. Notched up over 400 games across the two clubs. And he's also an avid racing devotee, having been a bookies clerk for over 25 years, and he's been to almost 50 Cox plates. So we wish Chris, his family and his friends well here on track today. Now the 7 runners are just about to be called in. Soulfire being led up into gate 1 by the looks of it now. So the loading process to get underway. Canny Essent runs the clear favourite. First up, New Stable ran on nicely to win his recent jump out. It's 150 on the tote, 160 fixed as they load into the gates here. Shavuma's gone up, who normally travels close to the speed. Just Got Lucky, barrier 2. Favourite from gate 3, Canny Essent. Orient Line to